So today's session is all about Andhra Pradesh Socio-Economic Survey and Budget, how we need to approach them for APPSC Group 1 Mains Examination. This is Venkatesh, who will be teaching economy for APPSC, TGPSC and UPSC students. So let us dive into the agenda first. So today's agenda will be, first, what is the requirement of APPSC Group 1 Mains that will be going to happen in May. So what is the requirement of APPSC Group 1 Mains? From Andhra Pradesh Budget and Socio-Economic Survey, that we will be seeing it. Second, analysis of previous question papers. How far Andhra Pradesh Budget and Economic Survey, Socio-Economic Survey is relevant from the mains perspective from previous year question papers, we will be seeing it. And then dissecting how to approach socio-economic survey and budget. Most of the times what happens is we often tend to neglect on the budget and economic survey, just thinking that they are more like a data. They are nothing else but data. If we neglect the data, nothing else will happen because data will not have that much gravity in UPSC and APPSC group and examinations. They won't see data as a crucial thing to analyze. Most of the times, competitive exams, there is a myth that data is nothing but facts. Yeah. Data is something more than facts, which is analysis, which will be important from APPSC Group 1 Mains perspective that we will be looking at. Then, aspects to concentrate. And then in the agenda to come, aspects to concentrate, is data important or not? Then your doubts will be, I will be clarifying them. Okay. Now, first of all, let us dissect the syllabus first. Okay. So in the syllabus itself, when it comes to Andhra Pradesh part, forgetting about Indian economy part. If you see resource mobilization in Andhra Pradesh itself, the first thing that they have asked, what are the restraints and constraints in budgetary resources that are to be allocated for the development of Andhra Pradesh? What are the budgetary constraints that they are asking, first of all? Yeah. Then, other important thing is central assistance. What is the central assistance that came to Andhra Pradesh from 2014 onwards? Why they are stressing about what is central assistance? Because of the bifurcation aspect, Andhra Pradesh somewhat had backward in the development. Right. So that's why they are concentrating this aspect in the syllabus. Then the public debt, which is rising day by day, which will be crucial from economic survey perspective. Then, in this government budgeting language, which is complete chapter in APPSC Group 1 Mains examination, it is a complete chapter of APPSC Group 1 paper 4, in which budget constraints again they are given, central assistance, analysis of the recent budget, which is more important, and how local finances are helping the Andhra Pradesh development. This one is there. And then all Andhra Pradesh current government schemes. So we'll be seeing why economic survey is important from policy perspective. Then public distribution and Dwakra. If you come to agricultural development, industry and infrastructure, most of the times what happens is, if you study economy, individually, if you study Indian economy first, then if you study Andhra Pradesh economy, that is like a preparing for two different examinations. Don't prepare like that. You are preparing for APPSC Group 1 Mains examination, where you need integrated preparation of Indian economy and Andhra Pradesh economy simultaneously. Most of the times what happens is, the basic concepts like national income or inflation, public finance, external sector, these concepts we need to study it perfectly. Then comes the application part, which is agricultural sector, industry sector, infrastructure sector. So these are the three sectors where we can improve what happens in India at the same point of time what happens in Andhra Pradesh. If we do a comparative study between India and Andhra Pradesh, that will be more relevant from mains perspective that we can write the answer. Okay, right. So, and I just want to ask you a question. So, how many questions Does APPSC ask in APPSC Group 1 mains examination paper 4 on budget? How many questions that they will ask? What do you think? Budget or economic survey, how many questions they will ask? They'll ask on budget or economic survey directly. No. If you need to write 15 questions, in which they might be giving 7 to 8 questions of Andhra Pradesh. Each and every question, budget and socio-economic survey is important. Each and every question. Because let me tell you one thing. Prelims is all about choosing the right one and eliminating the wrong one, as you know. But mains examination, they will be giving you the questions which are static in nature. They won't be giving you the questions which are dynamic in nature. They won't be asking you how did the right to borrow scheme perform. They won't be asking you. They will be asking you such a question that what are the measures taken by Andhra Pradesh government to promote farmers' welfare? So that will be the question that will be asked by the APPSC. Then how you need to write? You need to integrate the data that was given in the budget regarding the right to borrow. So how it is helping the farmers in the agricultural investment. You need to include it. So every time remember one thing. Questions are completely static in nature in mains examination. But answers should be dynamic in nature, which should include budget and economic survey. Every aspect that you need, every aspect that you write. If you write in introduction, if you take something from the socio-economic survey, that will help in making the examiner realize that okay, he is in touch with the recent aspects. He will be getting impressed. Then when you are discussing the body, the main part which I have told you previously, that let's say what are the measures taken by Andhra Pradesh for farmers' welfare. So if I am discussing what are the schemes or how much budget allocation happened to farmers in the recent budget, and what does the examiner think? Examiner thinks that okay, he knows even agricultural welfare budget also. He is in touch with the budget and economic survey. So that's why I want to prove this point that only questions are static in nature, but answers must be dynamic in nature, and every question that is given under the base perspective, you will be adding budget and economic survey in at least one part. So the current relevant context that you can give in the answer, right? So that's what firstly I want to establish.
So let's see how previous year questions were given. As I was discussing, the questions will be static in nature, but the answers must be dynamic in nature. How? Let's see. This one, first one, briefly discuss the impact of bifurcation on the economy of Andhra Pradesh with respect to sectoral changes and resource gap. Provide a brief note on the steps taken by the government of Andhra Pradesh to mobilize the resources. Right. So that is the question given in 2023 in paper 4. Okay. So what are the aspects that they have asked? First one, impact of bifurcation with respect to the sectoral changes and resource gap. There are two aspects. Impact of bifurcation which you need to prove through sectoral changes and resource gap. Then there is another question that was asked. What are the measures taken by Andhra Pradesh to augment the resources? These are the two parts of the question, right? So now, when you, I think most of you are preparing for the last 1 year for APPSC Group 1. So what is the source that you have found where bifurcation promises the dynamic nature of how government is responding to the bifurcation promises? Whether you have any material regarding that? Like how far the bifurcation promises are implemented? Whether you got any material? Economic survey for you? Any of the students who are in the online? Whether did you get any material which is addressing how far the promises are implemented? Any material. You can search anything. Most of the times that you can find is through digitalsansad.in, where our MPs will be asking a question on how far they are implemented. then the minister responsible will be giving you the answer, right? So most of the times, most of the students will only find that one, but they won't be finding a consolidated material where they can find how far the bifurcation promises are implemented. Now, what to do? But you need to write it, right? What to do? So first, what are the aspects that are important from bifurcation perspective, where they are asking about sectoral changes and resources gap? First thing, what you need to do? Which sector got too much impacted because of bifurcation for Andhra Pradesh? Which sector got too much impacted? Is it industrial sector or is it services sector which got impacted? Right, services sector. So first you need to recognize. First thing that you need to recognize, how far services sector fared in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, that you need to write it in the answer, first thing. Next, second thing, what are the other sectors that got impacted through bifurcation? How agriculture got impacted? Can you actually explain? Land holding size got impacted because of bifurcation? No. Water sharing, yes, yeah. Second thing, agriculture because of water sharing disputes. Because most of the times when it was united Andhra Pradesh, some of the waters got diverted from one region to other. Water sharing. I'm just establishing here the example how socio-economic survey and budget is important. Now, again, then what are the other sectors that got impacted? Industry. Okay, how? First thing, when anyone asks about sectoral changes, you need to look from macroeconomic perspective. So what are the indicators of macroeconomic perspective where you can find the changes through bifurcation? First thing, the GSDP got impacted, right? And why this GSDP got impacted? If at all, let's say, if at all there was United Andhra Pradesh, which has around now 8 to 9 crore population, will central government neglect us? We'll have so much of gravity on the central government, right, to implement the budget that they have announced today. Okay, today did we get anything? I think you might have followed the news. No, we didn't get anything, just because it is like a strategy. Like for the last 2-3 months, Andhra Pradesh is getting everything from the center. If at all too much, if Andhra Pradesh gets too much of resources, then Telangana will be criticizing the center. That's why in this budget, they only gave strategically, they placed a move where they have revised the budget of Polavaram to 30,000 crores. They have revised the budget of Polavaram. That's it. No other promises were kept by the center in the recently released budget of today. Okay. So if at all, why they are actually giving resources now? Because TDP is having a strong hold at the center. What happened in the last 10 years, starting from 2014, TDP did not have, neither TDP nor YCP did not have any say in the central government. That's why they could not find any resources. But if at all there was united Andhra Pradesh, then which has more revenue than what it was today, will central government neglect us? No. The way they did not neglect Maharashtra, even when the things are not happening as they have wished previously, they wouldn't have neglected Andhra Pradesh, even if something was not happening according to their wishes. The main thing happened. Okay. There, what happened is, if at all the central assistance was not given regularly, already we have taken some debt from the mother state, from the united Andhra Pradesh. The debt is increasing day by day. If at all central assistance is not coming to us, the debt will increase. The debt will not sustain. The debt will not sustain, the first thing. So central transfers are not happening, which we need to write first of all. At top of all this, first central assistance, we need to write it. If you need to write about central assistance, you just need to go to the socio-economic survey and see how far the transfers from the center were happening. How far transfers from center were happening. And then if you see for the last 3 years till the recent held government, if you see 2023-24 survey, which was released in November, the central assistance to the states is getting decreased. Why? Because they have promised in 2017 that they will be giving, that they have released it. But after that, Andhra Pradesh was neglected for the last 3 years. If at all they have given, yeah, please. If at all they have given ample central assistance to Andhra Pradesh, that debt might have been sustained. Just because central assistance was not enough to Andhra Pradesh, the debt became unsustainable and Andhra Pradesh became 17th state out of 18 states in the recently released Niti Aayog's Fiscal Health Index of 2025, in which 2023 economic situation of Andhra Pradesh was given. If at all central assistance is given on a regular basis, then Andhra Pradesh debt might have been sustainable. Now it is around 33% of GSDP, which is unsustainable officially, So is it not the impact of bifurcation? It is the impact of bifurcation, which was aggravated by the center's stepmotherly treatment. That you need to write. Okay, from 2014, how many resources were given to Andhra Pradesh as promised? Because of that cause, this consequence happened. That was the thing that you need to touch. And then the sectoral thing. Now, we have these sectoral changes. These are the things that you have written. And the third thing, the industry, as you have said, why industry sector did not grow? Because in the bifurcation promise itself, they have said that Andhra Pradesh will be given a special status. Then because of the special status, industrial incentives can be given. If industrial incentives are given to the industry, more industries can be established in Andhra Pradesh. As more industries are not establishing in Andhra Pradesh, which we can establish through the fact that industry's GDP is not growing to the extent that it should grow in Andhra Pradesh. How you will be getting to know this? Industries share in the GSDP. It is not growing. It is consistent. It is stagnant. Just agriculture is growing just because services got drowned. As services got drowned, agriculture share increased, but industry remained the same, like Nitish Kumar. So Nitish Kumar remains the same, no matter in which party he belongs to. He'll jump into that party or this party. He remains the same, but the parties differ. That's it. Okay. In the same way, industry GDP will define how the assistance that should be coming from the center did not come, which impacted the industry. So that is the sectoral change that you will be explaining. How agriculture sector got impacted because of the water sharing disputes that are happening. How industry sector got impacted because of the rejection of special status to Andhra Pradesh, where financial incentives were not given to the industry and the financial and industries were not established in Andhra Pradesh, and services sector where completely in Andhra Pradesh it got drowned because the major city of Hyderabad, which is hub to services, got taken away from Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so these are the sectoral changes that you need to write from socio-economic survey, because all these three I have told you. From socio-economic survey, if you see what are the changes that were happening in the last 10 years, because do not think that socio-economic survey of every year you need to read. Don't think that. Even when 2024-25 socio-economic survey, even if it releases before the examination or not, it is not at all relevant to you, because it is only of 1 year. It is not of the last 10 years. But socio-economic survey is a resource for the last 10 years. They will be giving you the information from 2014 to 2024, which is more important than 2024 to 25. You need to read the trends in the socio-economic survey. Then you will get to know all of this. How industry sector became stagnated and how COVID impacted India's GSDP, and why agriculture sector grew only 1.69% in the 2023-24. It is the second lowest growth rate of agriculture in Andhra Pradesh after COVID years. Why is it so? Because if you need to think of that, you need to read socio-economic survey definitely, because if you see the numbers, you can analyze. We'll discuss that one also. How to analyze the numbers. Analyzing the numbers is a skill. That's what data analysts do. Okay. So here we have seen what are the sectoral changes, and as I said previously, how resource gap, financial resources led to high GDP, unsustainable GDP, and then what are the other resources that Andhra Pradesh lost? As you said, water resources, Andhra Pradesh lost, and then human resources. How human resources got impacted because of bifurcation? May I know where are you from? Nellore. You are from Nellore. You did your graduation in Nellore itself. Where? Dehradun. Okay. So you did your graduation from Dehradun. Then after completion of graduation, you went back to Nellore. And then for the job purpose, where will you go? Hyderabad. For higher education or for job, we will be coming here. So the potential of the resources that Andhra Pradesh have, because if you study Telangana movement, most of the times you will get to know that the KG basin, where most of the agricultural cash are there, became much more developed in 1980s and 1990s. So it made sure that Andhra Pradesh literacy is more than in Telangana. But Andhra Pradesh have literates, but they do not have the place where they can explore their potential, which is completely undermining the human resource. So that is what happened because of this bifurcation. Okay. So this is the resource gap. Along with the financial resources, the human resources also got impacted. So if you see 3 points are there and 3 sectors are there, then half of the answer got completed, right? If at all you have information about sectoral changes that you can study from the socio-economic survey, then you can write this answer as good as possible. Okay, right. And then regarding this policy measures, we will see in the next slides. Policy measures I will be telling you now. In the same way, it is a direct question. Explain the importance of budgetary policy in reallocation of resources. Okay, we have 2 major parties which are there at the state. So what are the 2 major parties? TDP, YCP. So what is the YCP? What is YCP's agenda in general? Welfareism. What is TDP's agenda? Development. So if at all a government which was elected recently need to shift the perspective. How it can shift the perspective? Through budgets itself, because whenever a government is allocating the budgets, it will have its preferences through its agenda. Yes, TDP government want to establish more industries in Andhra Pradesh so that the skill that Andhra Pradesh have, the literates in Andhra Pradesh can get the jobs. So his main area of concern is building of Amravati and establishing of industries. So as soon as Chandrababu Naidu came, he gave the different policies. If you see, let me tell you. I think you did not open AP industries till now. How many policies are there? Let's AP. Go through only government websites. You'll get to know what are the things that they are doing, because most of the time they are not actually projecting it in the public. Okay. So as soon as the new government came in, they have given 6 different policies which are more important, because they have given industrial policy, they have given MSME policy, they have given renewable energy policy, they have given IT policy, they have given EMC policy, they have given clean energy policy. For everything, they have given a policy. It is not that every policy is different. No, the crux is different. the aspects, what is Andhra Pradesh doing and what they want to do is same for every policy. Only the crux is different between all the policies. If you see how many different policies of 2024 to 29 came in. If you see all the policies, industrial development, food processing, MSME, data center, semiconductor and display, electronics manufacturing, tourism policy, clean energy, sustainable electricity, textiles, information technology. So all these policies are concentrating only on one thing, establishing of industries and development of jobs. And they have also established the committee through group of ministers headed by obviously Nara Lokesh, because he is leading the pack. So Nara Lokesh is leading the pack where he is heading what are the resources that they can bring in to increase more number of employment. So the government's main agenda is simple, industries and employment. Now shifting to YCP, which was there till 2024. If you see YCP, what was happening there? They are putting more resources only on the welfareism. Let's say why welfareism? Because most of the times people think that as they are giving more schemes, it is simple to analyze them. But let's see here. Let's see how you can substantiate it. How we can substantiate it. I hope I am clear, right? Simple. General review, then public finance. We need public finance. Yeah. Socio-economic aggregates. This is the thing that we need. Yeah, here. Yeah. From this one, as it is from 2023-24, how can you say what is the area where YCP government have concentrated? From this one, can you tell? This is just the GDP analysis of India and Andhra Pradesh. If somebody establishes this, I'll definitely clap for them. That is the thing which we need to do from socio-economic survey, right? Even from people who are attending online, just message in the chat or raise your hand so that I can actually unmute you. Okay, here I'll just give you one hint. I'll give you 1 minute only, not more than that. Okay. If you can tell me, I'll definitely clap for you. Okay. Yeah. Lavanya garu. I am unmuting you. Yeah, please unmute yourself and let me know. Lavanya, you can unmute yourself.
Sir, it's like a constant prices and current prices, there is a change. I feel like they have more invested in MSP, like in Raita Bharosa, like these type of schemes. It will cause it causes the inflation. So that is the main reason for increase in GDP.
Very good. Very good. Good analysis. Yeah. Now let me just dissect that for you. Here, if you see in 2022-23, the growth rate at constant prices of Andhra Pradesh is 5.81. Okay, right. Okay, right. 5.81. Then the growth rate of India at constant price is 7. Yes, India's growth rate is more than Andhra Pradesh. Agreed. At current prices also, India's growth rate is more than Andhra Pradesh. Agreed. That's good. Now in 2023-24, if you see in constant prices, India's growth rate is more than Andhra Pradesh. Agreed. But if you see current prices, 10.44 and 9.6. What does it suggest? Andhra Pradesh growth rate at current prices is more. But India's growth rate at constant prices is more in 2023-24. What does it suggest? Yeah, because of the inflation. Because current prices and constant prices, what is the difference? The inflationary gaps is the difference. So why does that inflation arise in the GDP? Yeah, Andhra Pradesh once was a manufacturing economy, industrial economy, now shifted to consumption economy. Andhra Pradesh became a consumption economy. When will one becomes a consumption economy? When they get the money, they'll spend it. They'll spend it. So that is what consumption economy is. When manufacturing economy, the inflation will be lower than the expected thing. So the consumption economy increases the inflation. That's why in India, we have kept inflation at 4 plus or minus 6. But in general, 2 is the healthy inflation rate. If you know, 2% is the healthy inflation. Why we have kept it 4 at plus or minus 2? In general, India is also a consumption economy. But more than India, Andhra Pradesh became a consumption economy because of the policies that were implemented by the previous government, which you can analyze by the data that was given here. That's why you need socio-economic survey to compare the data. If you write this point, substantiating how the previous government implemented the welfare policies, will the examiner like it or not? He'll like it, right? That's where the analysis comes with the socio-economic survey. Okay. Now, I hope everyone understood this. Okay. Right. Now, so next one, what is meant by gender budgeting and child budgeting? Does Andhra Pradesh follow gender budgeting and child budgeting? Evaluate. Does Andhra Pradesh follow? How will you know? How? Acha, you will be going through each of the allocations. Each of the demands of grants you will be going through. Policies, no. Simple thing. Every time when Andhra Pradesh releases the budget and economic survey, they'll keep all these documents. They'll keep all these documents here. In that particular thing, there are some documents at the end, which are important, but we often neglect. The outcome budget, the gender budget, the child budget. These are the things. I think you might not be aware of this till now. We are preparing for Andhra Pradesh Group 1 and we qualified for prelims, but most of the time we often neglect this. Outcome budget is there, child budget is there, gender budget is there. This particular thing, like let's say, why I am actually opening outcome budget? Because Andhra Pradesh is implementing outcome budget from 2017-2018. From then, if at all Andhra Pradesh is implementing outcome budget, we might be aware of what is outcome budget is. What is outcome budget? Yes, because we are giving the KPIs to every department, key performing indicators. If at all we know what are the key performing indicators, each department, like let's say now Polavaram is there. Okay, let's see where Polavaram is. So this one is the Department of Water Resources Department. We have no way concern to this department, but the aspect that they're dealing is important, because when someone actually asks you what is happening with Polavaram, what will you say? It is a stalled concept. I don't know about it. Nothing is released as of officially. We don't have white paper of no. Every time they'll be giving some KPIs, key performing indicators, and after that they'll be releasing it in the socio-economic survey, how far they are implemented. So here if you see, to resolve interstate water disputes among all the states, and then to complete the balance works of gap 1 and gap 2, ECR of dams and spillway channel. From this, we get to know what is happening with Polavaram, right? How far it is completed and what are the targets given. Then if at all something is asked on Polavaram, can we write? We can write it dynamically. We need to know one thing. I want just you, this is the only thumb rule. Questions are static. Answers must be dynamic. Simple. Okay? Right. So this is one thing which we generally miss, but is given in the budget and socioeconomic survey. Like the same way, the gender budget and the child budget were also given. If you see any questions, like the questions are simple. What are the measures taken by Andhra Pradesh government to improve the welfare of women? If we not at all discuss gender budget, then definitely the answer is not correct. Okay, I'll give only 4 marks out of 10. If at all we discuss gender budget, because most of the policies that are implemented by the state are there in the gender budget. If you go through it, most of the times you will get to know. And you need to write the notes of it by analyzing the data. The analysis of data is more important, like the way that I have said. It is not the data that is important. It is the analysis of data that is important. Now, when it comes to analysis of data, let me explain you one concept. If at all I am slow, just let me know that I am slow so that I can be moving faster. Okay. So how many of you are actually preparing notes for mains for economy? People who are actually attending online also, just you can raise the hand. How many of you are preparing the notes? No one. Yes, yes. For yes, yes. Yes is the word. Yes is the consent. Okay, 2. No. Even you are wrong from your perspective because you are not at all preparing the notes. Even if I need to say that yes, and the other one who have raised his hand, they are also wrong in writing the notes for Andhra Pradesh economy. Because for India, you need to have notes for basic concepts. As I said, national income, public finance, and resource management. For all these, you need to have notes. What are the about poverty, these things. But for agriculture, industry, services, unemployment, these concepts which are application oriented, your economic survey and socio-economic survey must be your notes, nothing else. Because this economy and socio-economic survey, why I am actually telling this one? As I told, comparative format is required. Okay. So this one is there. Okay. Let's take a niche concept like mulberry cultivation, like the silkworm mulberry cultivation. This one. How many employment was generated with each of the districts? Which of the districts is generating more employment? Just go through this and tell me. Which of the districts is generating more employment? As simple as that. By now we got to know that it is Satya Sai, right? Yeah. Satya Sai is getting more. And where is Chittur? Top, huh? 25th one. Yeah, Chittur is 2.608. So what does that indicate? Most of the silkworm cultivation is happening around that region. Okay. Rayalaseema region. And now, if at all it is Rayalaseema region, most of the times what happens? It might be in link with the Karnataka or it might be in link with the Tamil Nadu, most of the times. And Karnataka being the top state in sericulture cultivation. So will we have a market here in Chittur and Satya Sai districts? Will we have a market? Yes, we will have a market, because if at all sericulture is happening in Satya Sai and Chittur, they can actually sell their products there. If at all employment is generated in Chittur and Satya Sai, they can sell their products which is nearer to them, which is in Karnataka. Karnataka, they have a lot of market for sericulture, right? So this is the thing why they are establishing more industries of silkworm. It may be cottage industries also. Why they are establishing more here is the reason that we need to analyze. The reason is Karnataka being the most important market, they have established the most of the cottage industries there, which will help them to generate more yarn. Okay, right. Now, this is one of the, so if at all I write these two concepts here at the top of the 1, 2, at the top of the page, what will, I think what will happen at the time of examination? I'll just scroll through every annexure. In socio-economic survey and budget, do not read entire 365 pages. Only read general review where the crucial points of the each of the aspects are given. General review is there, just 30 pages. You just need to mug it up everything because they will give only the most important points there. And then when it comes to complete document, only concentrate on infographics and annexures. Infographics means you will be getting the graphs, right? So you need to concentrate on the graphs. Yeah. This is the graph, right? So when we see this graph, what can we analyze? This is regarding agriculture subsectoral growth rates. What can we analyze? Just tell me 3 points. Anyone? Tell me 3 points of it. 3 most important points. Yes, in the last 10 years, fishing sector is having the higher growth rate among any subsector in Andhra Pradesh. Very good. Very good. Because through that we get to know. Next. Yeah. Lowest is agriculture and horticulture. Now. See, if you see, this is the highest for aquaculture, right? 2017-18. So what were the reasons for its drastic drop? That we need to analyze. What are the reasons? What might be the reasons? In 2017-18, we have the highest growth from here to here. We have the highest growth. And after that, we got a drastic drop and then it is not regular in nature. So what might be the reasons for it? Can you tell? Change in climatic conditions. Okay. And okay, let me ask you a social question. What made COVID-19 to you? What made COVID-19 to you? After COVID-19, did you change? You did not change. Yeah, I did not change. You did not change. But let's say a worker who is working in Bihar from Andhra Pradesh, Valasa Karmikulu antaru. Valasa Karmikulu annaru. Okay. So they went to some other place like Maharashtra and all. They got affected, right? They got affected a lot. Then what will they do after COVID gets over? Reverse migration to the villages. When they go reverse migration to villages, what will they do? They'll do agriculture in their lands, right? Even when they are given for tenancy, or they'll join as agricultural laborers, right? To make sure agriculture gets improved there, then what will happen? Most of the times, what happens in our Krishna region and East Godavari regions is most of the agricultural lands were converted into fisheries. And chapel చెరువుల కింద convert చేయాలి because that is more remunerative than any other thing. So that reverse migration made sure these fisheries or these ponds were converted again into agriculture. Right. So that is the thing which happened from social perspective that I got from all this data. You might also be getting some of the status, some of the analysis which you need to substantiate with this, and which you need to see what are the other things that might have happened. Everyone will agree, right? Reverse migration happened. So everyone will agree that Manrega workers increased because Manrega workers also there is an increase. Reverse migration also they happened. Then what can we correlate here? There is a difference between correlation and concurrence. Correlation happens whenever we link it with facts. Concurrence happens, there is some random concurrence. There is a difference we need to establish. Whenever we get the analysis correct, then there is a correlation between both that we can actually assume of. Okay, that is what happens from the data that you need to learn. Now, yeah, this one. What is this? Tax revenue 2021, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24. I just want 3 insights from this tax revenue data. I hope I am not getting you bored. Right. Okay. What is increasing? Okay. Okay. That is visible. Analysis is something that is not visible and that is not here. Consistent increase is there. I need to know what is happening in Andhra Pradesh through this data. How can I know? Anyone who is in the online also? You can raise your hand so that I can unmute you. Good. What happened to electricity duty? And most of the times, the opposition parties till 2024, what they have said? Tariffs got increased a lot. It is increasing still. Then which is good, very good. Now, yeah, why is state excise is increasing? Alcohol consumption from state. That we need to remember. It is not the private sector, from state. Yeah, something, I think someone actually raised their hand. No, okay. Excise duty. If you see excise duty, where is it? Yeah, excise duty. It got increased. Then why the hell is sales tax is getting reduced, but GST is getting increased? What might be the reason? You need to establish the correlation. GST is increasing. That means the consumption obviously more. That goods and services tax, if it is increasing, what is GST? What type of tax is it? Yeah, obviously indirect tax. What type of tax is it? Is it a value addition tax, or is it a impact and incidence on the same point? Destination, is it a value addition tax? It is not. It is not value addition tax. It is not a value addition tax. Okay. Yeah, it is a destination. It is destination based tax is regarding the location. I am asking what type of tax it is. What is the difference between sales tax and GST? Why sales tax is not merged with GST? The first thing, our government doesn't want to lose sales tax, which is more. That's a separate thing. The state government doesn't want to lose. Then again, GST is, let's say that I have, yeah, Kalyan, you have raised the hand. Good. Yeah, Kalyan, please unmute yourself and just tell me. Yeah. Yes is right. Kalyan, you can tell it. You can unmute yourself. Okay. Yes. Again. Yeah. Yes. You can write your full name, right? Yes, you can tell your answer. Unmute. Unmute చేసుకుని మాట్లాడండి. Okay. Yeah.
Unlike sales tax, which is typically levied only on goods, whereas GST applies both for goods as well as services.
Okay. Then did you observe something different in GST and sales tax here? Can you establish some correlation?
Sir, we can see that both of them, we can eliminate this cascading effect as.
Cascading effect, no. Okay. So I'll be telling you. I think I have made you wait for too many. Okay. Sales tax, if at all some good is sold, some goods is sold in Andhra Pradesh, they'll be imposing the sales tax. So what will goods and services tax do? If at all some value addition happens here, then they'll be imposing the GST. Like let's say this pen is made from different methods. There is a raw material which was there in Andhra Pradesh. That raw material was converted into some lines or into some material, some sheets by some company. So their value addition happened. And for that value addition, GST will be imposed. Again, the sheets are rolled at some point. Then GST will be imposing on that one. Again, when they were rolled, they need to give some point. They need to give some infrared rays. That happened at some point. So the value addition, wherever it is happening in any stage, on that value addition, GST is imposed. And it may be service, it may be goods. It may be service, it may be goods. But sales is regarding the goods. So what happens here? The sales tax is decreasing, but GST is increasing. Considering Andhra Pradesh how much of coastline? 975, and I think 975 in the recently, yeah, 975. So whenever the coastline is there, what happens there? The imports will happen, right? So when the imports happen, what is the GST that they will be having on it? No, what is the GST type of GST? IGST that they will happen. Along with IGST, if they have different taxes, if they have a company in Andhra Pradesh, then the GST will increase, right? But sales tax, it will only increase when the goods production is there. If for the services that they have provided, the GST is increasing. But for the goods that they are produced, the sales tax will increase. The sales tax is not increasing, which is actually showing us that industry sector is not, the production is not that much compared to the services that we are making. So why India wants to be the assembly market in the global chain? Like if you see, India doesn't want to be the production house in the globe, in the entire globe. India wants to be the assembly market. Like something is produced in China, something is produced in Japan, something is produced in America. All those things, they want here to be assembled, so that the value addition, what is happening, they can impose tax on it, then they can make sure India grows. The same thing happens in Andhra Pradesh, where it is using its coastline to its advantage and made sure the services are charged more, but they are not increasing the production, which is deteriorating the sales tax. Am I clear? GST is increasing, but sales tax is decreasing. In GST, the production of goods is also there. But here, if at all sales tax is increasing and GST is increasing, we can say that yes, production is there. But what is happening? GST is increasing, but sales tax is decreasing. That can clearly relate that the services are increasing, but the production is not at all increasing. That is the correlation that we can establish from this one. Hope I am clear for the people who are in the online. Yeah, Kalyan, I am unmuting you. Yeah, Kalyan, you can speak.
Yeah, sir, actually, as per my understanding, the girl who spoke before you, she is very right in saying that the GST is imposed both on goods and services, whereas the sales tax is imposed on goods, sir.
Yes.
She is very right in saying that, but here what analysis you said, I am quite, I have a bit of difference with that, sir, because sales tax is exactly not levied on those products on which GST is imposed. Here in AP, sales tax is imposed only on the sales tax is nothing but VAT. VAT is imposed on the sale of liquor, as well as VAT is imposed on the sale of tobacco and other products, as far as sales tax is concerned.
Yes.
On no other product, sales tax is imposed. After the advent of GST, sales tax, which is levied exclusively by the state governments, are imposed only on certain products, not on all the products on which GST is levied.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. So here, whatever sales tax is imposing, they are only imposing on certain goods. As I told you, they are imposing on goods. Not all the goods, as you said. Whatever goods are there, which are in the GST, they will not be imposing the sales tax, as you said. But what is happening in sales tax? The goods that are in the sales tax, they are not increasing. What does it mean, Kalyan?
Sir, it might be due to many things, sir. Actually, there might be some changes also. There might be changes in the, alcohol or liquor production. There might be changes in the sales tax rates also.
No, if at all there is a change in the alcohol and liquor production, the state excise will not increase, right? Why the state excise is increasing?
No, sir. Cigarettes are also there, sir, on which sales tax has got a substantial amount. There might be here and there some ups and downs in the tobacco products also, which might affect the sales tax revenue.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you completely. Here sales tax is there, the state excise is there, the GST is there. Here state excise is increasing a lot.
Yeah.
Sales tax is decreasing. Excise and sales tax will be imposed on the same product. Let's say the alcohol, let's say on the alcohol, state excise duties are imposed, right?
Yes.
State sales tax are imposed on it.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So here excise duty is increasing, but sales tax is decreasing. Here, if you take alcohol or if you take cigarettes, the excise duty is increasing. In the same way, sales tax is also must also increase, right? If at all the correlation happens.
And, sir, and I forgot to mention one more thing, sir. Sales
Yeah.
tax is also imposed on the LPG products.
Yes, they'll be imposed.
LPG products
They'll be
also.
imposed on manufacturing products, whatever are not covered under the GST. Simple.
Yes, sir. On certain products, both GST as well as the sales tax are also imposed there. On
Yes.
certain products. The one thing are tobacco products and the other one is LPG.
Here,
On which there is
one more
simultaneous
catch,
levy of
Kalyan.
both GST as well as state tax.
Here, one more catch I want to tell you. Why, yes, if it is a value added tax, why it is not clubbed with GST sales tax?
Which one, sir?
Why sales tax is not clubbed with GST when GST
Sales
law?
tax is exclusively the purview of the state government, sir. It is not shared with the center. Whereas the
Yeah,
GST,
why it is not? Yeah, most of the other taxes where
CGST and SGST is a uniform levy, sir. On one
no,
of
no,
the
Kalyan, I am asking.
sir.
I am asking, yes, most of the other indirect taxes which are there in the state, they were merged with the GST. But
Yes, sir.
sales tax was not merged with the GST. Why?
So as to give that fiscal freedom to the states to get their own revenue, so as not to
Yes,
directly.
that is the
impose.
major point. Major point here. Sales tax was not clubbed with GST just because it is the major source of revenue for the government, isn't it?
Yes, yes, sir.
Why
True,
it
yes,
is
sir.
more important for production-based states? Because most of the production which is happening on that one, the sales tax is imposing, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, you are true. You are true.
Yes.
Right.
So if sales tax is increasing, what can we imply?
Sales tax here is decreasing, sir. I mean, what I mean to say is that, sir, I mean, we cannot directly make a correlation or an analysis on comparing all these three taxes. The rates of tax might differ. I mean, because.
No, definitely I can imply. Definitely I can imply. Why I will be telling you. First thing, here, I want to establish three facts here. First thing, sales tax is the major revenue source of the state government. The one thing. Second thing, sales tax is decreasing, but excise is increasing, which in general they are implied more on the goods, the improper goods, which I can say like cigarettes or alcohol.
Yes.
If the
So we
excise
can
duties
include
are
this
more.
petroleum products also, petrol and diesel on which VAT is imposed.
Yes, petrol and diesel.
AP has got the highest VAT also compared to the other South Indian states, sir.
Yes, I can agree. Petrol and diesel highest VAT in Andhra Pradesh, because when I traveled from Andhra Pradesh to Kerala, Andhra Pradesh is having more rates in petrol and diesel. But what happens is here petrol and diesel consumption in Andhra Pradesh is not that much compared to the other states, right?
Yeah.
But sales tax is more. Sales tax, why? I'm just wanted to establish these points. Sales tax, it is decreasing. But sales tax is decreasing, excise is increasing. Even when it is petroleum products, cigarettes or alcohol.
Yes.
They are only minute aspect of in this, because states want exclusively sales tax, which should not be included in the GST. Why is it so? Because it is the major source of revenue for the states, which they don't want to lose. Why it is a major source of revenue, particularly for the producing states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh? Because sales tax is much more. Sales tax is majorly imposed on production of goods rather than the other goods. Yeah, it is a value-added tax which is more implied on certain products only. So here I can directly imply from this one, from state excise, from SGST, that the production in Andhra Pradesh is not increasing. It might be stagnant or it is decreasing. The production rate, I am telling about not the absolute value of production, but the rate of production. That's why the sales tax is decreasing, but the state excise is increasing. And again, SGST is increasing. Why? Because of the value added services, which are more in the club, which are more in the basket. Yeah. Okay.
Many services are there, sir, as far as SGST is concerned.
Yeah.
All the construction services, all the hotels, transport services, banking services, all of them get covered under SGST, which are experiencing a positive growth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The goods are not, the production, the taxes on goods are not increasing, but the tax on services are increasing, which is pushing it further. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, on a slightly deviant note, I have another question, sir, actually.
Yeah,
In the
please tell me.
previous slide, you have given the 2023 questions. In the first question, the second part of the first question asked about the steps taken by the government of Andhra Pradesh for resource mobilization.
Yes, yes, yes. I told that I'll be telling you at the last, because I just want some time to go
Okay.
there, because
Yes.
that is the final step that I need to go. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So coming back to the discussion again now. So here, just see this question. Explain the extent of marine fishery resources in Andhra Pradesh. Discuss the steps taken by the Andhra Pradesh government in order to promote the welfare and development of fishermen in Andhra Pradesh. In general, do you know the steps that are taken by the government? Will you actually concentrate on that aspect? Because you know only the major schemes, Matsyakara Bharosa, and these major schemes are only you know. But they have asked a complete question on it. How can you write it? Let's see how can you write it. Yeah. Fisheries. I hope the discussion is fruitful. You will know the importance of socio-economic survey. And in the classes, I will be telling more about the economic survey in detail. Every aspect we will be discussing in the class. Every infographic I will be discussing in the class. Yeah, fisheries. This is the topic that I want you to be here. What they have asked about what are the steps taken by the government. Progress made by the different schemes implemented during 2020, 24 in fisheries. So in this one, particularly they have given, where is it? Particularly they have given about promotion of marine fisheries here. Will you find this one anywhere else except here? What they are actually looking at? They want you to study schemes sectorally. As Kalyan have asked, sir, we did not discuss the measures implemented by the Andhra Pradesh government in order to improve that. Here, I just want to tell you, whenever you are actually studying any policy for mains examination, study that policy sectorally. Now, do not study that policy individually. So that's what I am telling. So Kalyan, here I am actually arriving at that point. Whenever they want you to write about the measures taken by the government to improve that particular sector, you need to study these actions taken. For every sector that they have given, for agriculture, dairying, livestock, fisheries, anything, animal husbandry, they'll be giving what they are doing, what are the steps taken in that particular year to promote that. So if you concentrate on this one, they have given 10 points. If you study and make notes of 4 points, you can write them easily, along with the major schemes that are getting implemented. Because if you study in fisheries, Matsyakara Bharosa is there. But Matsyakara Bharosa, you can write only 2 points about it. But there are other schemes that are getting implemented. There are other measures like giving boats to them, or actually painting their boats with some paint. So that is happening there. The new innovative measures that Andhra Pradesh is implementing, which are there in the socio-economic survey, not in the normal books that you are studying. So that's where you need to study the schemes. Okay. So what did we discuss? Firstly, make sure socio-economic survey is your notes. Secondly, analyze the data that is given, because there is as Kalyan pointed out, sometimes what happens is we might be confusing the concurrence with the correlation. Concurrence is sometimes something will happen randomly. There is no substantiation for it. But there is a when you need to establish the correlation, you need to see what substantiation can it be there in the last 1 year. which will be mentioned either in the socio-economic survey or some report released by the Sustainable Development Goals India Index, or in socio-economic survey also they have given SDG India Index. You can actually look at them also. Okay. So then third one, what did we discuss more? Whenever you are analyzing any data, make sure you write the notes here. Okay. I hope I have taken making sure this is not extensive, but this serves your purpose. Okay. Now, then the next thing, budget. So in the budget, how budget is important to you from exam perspective, from this exam perspective? First thing, as we have discussed previously, the agenda of the government will be reflected in the reallocation of resources, which they will be asking in the examination. The agenda of the government will be definitely reflecting. Then again, how can budget help you? Economic survey can help you, right? Okay, right. And again, I think you can raise your hand. How can budget help you to write an answer in the mains examination? Smaller aspects also I'll discuss. If you see the budget, simple thing, one thing I'll tell, which is somewhat trivial, but will be helping you in the examination. When Payyavala Kesav gave his speech is around 66 pages. He had 34 quotes in between. Every quote is important from mains perspective. You can write it in the essay. You can write it everywhere in the essay. You can use them accordingly. So that is one thing that you can use for budget, which is trivial, but can be useful. Okay. Now again, which are more important? How budget can be useful? Yeah. Every sector is having the allocations, right? Is having the allocations. That allocations in demands of grants, they will be giving the expenditure in the previous year also. Let's say in this year, in 2024-25, how much is allocated for agriculture and allied sectors? In 2.94 lakh crore budgets, how much is actually allocated for agriculture? Any idea? Yeah, future plan of the government. Very good. I think yes, you have lowered your hand. Yeah. How much is allocated? Around 13,000 crores it was allocated. So it is 2.94 lakh crore is the budget, 13,000 crores is allocated to the. So you will be seeing how much is allocated to that particular sector. And if you go through demands of grants, how much is allocated to them, how much is spent? If there are 13,000 crores, how much is spent by the next year? So that is there in the demands of grants. How much is spent previously, how much is left? That's why in agriculture sector, previously they got some of the funds. That's why the smaller amount is actually allocated to agriculture. More amount is allocated to industries, more amount is allocated to different SC, ST and minorities. Because agriculture have a lot of priority in the government, but they did not utilize the funds that are allocated to them. How? Where you can know that? You can know that only through demands of grants, which I have shown you along with annual financial statement. You can also know that from demands of grants that is given. So for every sector, they will be giving you how much is allocated to them, how much is implemented. And then you can suggest the measures, implementing the funds according to the budget allocations can help in that particular sector to grow. There are budget allocations. Here you have the growth rates. You can actually link both of them. Okay. Now, this fiscal deficit situation thing, I just want to, what are the things that are happening from the budget or economic survey perspective? I just want to tell you. That's why I have included them. Okay, these are the things I wanted to convey to you. How budget and economic survey are important. How you need to analyze the data. How the data analysis can help you to improve your answer. Okay. So any more doubts? I think these are the things that I wanted to tell. I hope it is clear and it is useful. If it is useful, then the session is successful. Okay. APPSC Group 1 mains classes will start, and in this mains classes we are giving budget economic survey, socio-economic survey, and AP budget. That I will be teaching. Yeah, Kalyan,
Sir, am I audible, sir?
you are audible, Kalyan.
Sir, actually regarding this AP bifurcation issues only, I have just got a doubt, sir, actually.
Yes.
The thing, sir, right after 2014, there were white papers released by the first regime of the TDP government, sir, wherein, sir, am I audible, sir? Hello?
How to prepare them? You are asking the same question? Mute chestada. Yeah, unmute.
Sir.
Please unmute. You are asking the same question.
No, sir. I mean, just in a different way, sir. Actually, there are these Schedule 13 institutions where the government has promised in the AP Reorganization Act till 2023 or 2021 mains. All that we are writing is none of the promises given in the Schedule 13, maybe some separate railway zone or metro rail facility. All these things are not implemented. Right now, if we see, if I am not sure, sir, almost all the promises which are given in Schedule 13 are being implemented, sir.
Yeah.
So, if the question is like, is there any injustice done by the government, or is AP suffering like that? I mean, what is the stand that we have to take in a positive note that the center is helping the state right now, or I mean, what exactly should be the stand of the answer? That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. First thing, never make any blanket statements in the mains answer. None of them or no policies implemented. That should not make in UPSC or Group 1 answers. Don't make blanket statements. Second thing, be neutral. Like, let's say, what are the bifurcation promises that were implemented? First, they have promised in 2014, but they gave a package in 2016, right? First promise, what they want to implement? Special category status. They did not implement special category status. Is it the mistake of the central government? Is it the mistake of the central government that they did not implement special category status? No, then whose mistake is it? No, it is the Finance Commission's agenda to cancel the giving special category status, because states which are given special category status, they are being, one of the economic survey also, they have discussed it. States which were given special category status, they are not getting developed, because let's say, if you are giving 100 rupees to a person who is not at all working to the potential that he needs to work, then how can he develop? That is the objective that Finance Commission had in mind, and it categorically said that no state will be given special category status, which is shown by the center whose government is differing from the other government. If at all Andhra Pradesh had this much majority or this much gravity in the center, then in 2014, or the government did not change, there may be a situation where they can bend the rules. They could have given. Finance Commission's recommendations are only advisory, they are not mandatory. But what they ensured, because most of the resources are actually penetrating into the states because of 14th Finance Commission. They increased from 32% to 42%. Most of the resources are going. If in this situation, special category status is also allowed, other states like Bihar will also demand the same. Okay, that is the reasoning that you need to give for the policies which are not getting implemented. For the policies which are getting gained by the state, like recently 1500 crores were actually 15,000 crores were actually given to Andhra Pradesh. So how you need to write it? Because of Andhra Pradesh stand at the center, it could able to get the another 15,000 crores for its Amaravati building, and that you need to project it as a state thing, because it is a Group 1 examination. You should not criticize the center, but you can actually praise the state for its achievements. Both things should be there. You should not criticize. No government should be criticized. No government, none of the previous governments or the present government should be criticized for the things that they had done. They had done for those things because of circumstances. In your answer, you need to explain the circumstances which led to that. Now, from 2014 to 2024, as Kalyan said, most of the Schedule 13 institutions were established, like AIMS in Mangalagiri. Most of the institutions were established and were given the mentorship from major organizations like ISAR Pune is giving to ISAR Tadepalligudem, I think. Tadepalligudem. It might be. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. IISCR, Indian Institute of Science and Engineering Research of Pune is mentoring. Likewise in Chennai, they are mentoring. So everywhere center is providing the support, which is not at all visible because of the agenda that state governments in general, they project. But we know as people who are preparing for Group 1 that they are getting implemented. And whenever those news gets in the, I think whenever parliament sessions happen, in Digital Sansad, every time our MPs will ask how far the schemes are implemented, how far the promises are implemented. You just go through that every session. You'll get in 2020 to 23 also, our MPs have asked this question and they have given the answer. You just note down them. Now, one more thing I want to tell. This few these institutions they did not project, but they project which they don't give, like the port. I think the port they did not give. They did not sanction the port, Duggarajapatnam port. I think they did not sanction the port. They did not sanction the steel plant that they have promised. That's why they have established the Kadapa steel plant. Why they did not sanction those things? We need to go there and we need to see. Like Kadapa steel plant was established by the state of Andhra Pradesh because of the support given by the state of Andhra Pradesh. Why? Because the NMDC have given it clearly that the steel plant, if it is established there, will not be sustainable, because the steel plant which is already there in Vizag, which was recently bailed out, and which was recently bailed out from the crisis that it had, it was already in losses. Another steel plant which is in Kadapa steel plant, we cannot supply the ore to them. We cannot supply the ore to them if at all we establish that. It had given the report. That's why center backed out from establishing it. But as the governments wanted to prove a point, they went ahead and established Kadapa steel plant. Established Kadapa steel plant through Rayalaseema Steel Corporation. Okay. So this is the analysis that you need to see. The reports that were given by these organizations, you need to see them. You need to look at that perspective. Most of the time, what happens is 1 or 2 promises they might not give. What happens is the government, sometimes even it is TDP or YCP, they project them as they are not giving. They do not project them as their failure. Now 15,000 crores were given to Andhra Pradesh. We can project it in the answer that yes, because of the substances offered by the government. But what happens most of the times is because of the politics, we don't see the real picture. See the real picture, why it is not given, what happens to the promises that were implemented. Like let's say inside Schedule 13 institutions, or what happens to Polavaram, because in 30,000 crores, and again 12,000 crores they have granted for Polavaram completion by 2028 in this particular budget. So center is assisting Andhra Pradesh. We need to see the real picture and write it in a neutral manner. We should not criticize the center. We should not criticize the SHAT. We need to just establish the facts and analyze the information. We need to write the information and analyze it rather than criticism. Nowhere you should, even in UPSC or APPSC, nowhere you should criticize any government for the mistake that they had done. Okay, that will become political then. Now, I think Kalyan, yeah, unmute.
One more question, sir. Last question. Sir, what about the revenue deficit, sir? Actually, there is no correct data, sir. I mean,
no, there is a data. Socio-economic survey is there, right?
Revenue deficit of the state government as per the AP Reorganization Act, how the center is taking care. There are a lot of materials, sir. Diversified these things are there, which is one of the important aspects also for the problems being faced by AP state after bifurcation. Like when it comes to exactly this revenue deficit, let us leave with the Schedule 13 institutions, sir, as you have clearly explained. But when it comes to revenue deficit, even now we are also one of the state which is having highest revenue deficit.
Yes.
So how to write about the revenue deficit exactly? I think a question might come on this issue, sir.
And now, Priyanka Garu, I think we have analyzed the socioeconomic survey till now. Yeah, now. So the thing is, as you have asked about the revenue deficit, every year RBI releases a report, a study of state budgets, a study of finances, state budget. Sorry, state budgets, a study of finances. I'm somewhat confused with this report, a study of state finances. This is the report that every time RBI releases every year. In this one, they'll give for each of the states. And in this particular one, revenue deficit also they have discussed for the last 10 years. Okay, a study of state finances. Now this report is also used by the Niti Aayog to give fiscal health index. In this particular index, it is there. You can actually go through that, Kalyan.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, can we write like this, sir? Many white papers were published by Chandrababu Naidu about the mineral, how the mineral resources were looted, how the AP state finances happened in 1924. That was the damage which happened to the state. I mean, if any questions come like that, can we write like during 2019-24 government, this was the loss which has occurred to the state in these particular sectors? I mean, if any examiner or evaluator is inclined to
maybe you are in the mindset that the recently held a TGPSC Group 2 examination, they have given about Chandrababu Naidu. That's why you may be thinking that they will give those questions.
I didn't see that question paper, sir. What I'm asking is, can we write about 2019-24? This was the damage which has happened as per the white paper released by the government.
No, white papers, there may be an agenda. White papers, you need to cross-check with the socio-economic surveys. Socio-economic surveys are the data that will give you continuous data. White papers, what happens is they read between the lines. They will not cover those aspects that are covered by the socio-economic survey. If you want to write what is given in the white paper, do cross-check. White paper which is critical in nature. Do cross-check with the socio-economic survey and do cross-check the sources that they have followed. Because most of the white papers, they will follow the private sources. They will not follow the official sources. So do cross-check the information, then write it. Otherwise, if you want to criticize the data, criticism should be mildly in nature. Like, నువ్వు చెడ్డవాడివిరా అని చెప్పడానికి నువ్వు మంచివాడివి కాదు అని చెప్పడానికి రెండు ఒకటే. కానీ ఏంటంటే నువ్వు మంచివాడివి కాదు అని చెప్పి మన ఎగ్జామ్లో చెప్పాలి, నువ్వు చెడ్డవాడివి అని చెప్పి చెప్పకూడదు. అది మీరు వెనెవర్ యు ఆర్ రైటింగ్ దట్ ఆన్సర్ ఫ్రమ్ వైట్ పేపర్, మేక్ షూర్ యూ క్రాస్ చెక్ ద డేటా విత్ ద సోషియో ఎకనామిక్ సర్వే, దెన్ రైట్ ఇట్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద సోర్స్ దట్ దే హ్యావ్ ఫాలోడ్ ఈజ్ మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, యా, మీరేదో అడుగుతున్నారు. కళ్యాణ్, 1 minute. There may be a economic survey again because 6 months only they have given the budget. But what happens is, even when the economic survey releases, it might be by March ending. It might be by March ending and to be passed. Do not worry, as I told you, economic survey is a continuous process. Do not rely on 2024-25 only. Even now, most of the, I think everywhere I have searched it, they are also not sure that they will be releasing the budget. They'll give it either maybe in June, either maybe in April. It is their wish to give, because this time it is a full budget. Last 2 times it is a voter account budget only. This time it is a full budget. They'll be giving it either in April or in June. But don't actually rely only on 2024-25 data. You have 2014 to 24. Rely on this one to study the trends. If at all 2024-25 budget is released, go through the budget and you can actually get what are the budget estimates that they have given. That's it. Okay. No, budget is 2024-25. Economic survey is 23-24. No, they have given this budget is 2024-25 for the 6 months. They released it. Yeah, because they have given in November, right? That's why they have given the budget for 6 months only. Yeah. Now, yeah, Kalyan. I think if at all any others have doubts, you can raise your hand so that I can unmute you. I can actually explain. Okay. Right.
Sir, regarding these welfare schemes also, I mean, one or two questions might come on the welfare schemes also, no, sir, maybe about women, children, farmers, or anything. Many of the schemes which got implemented from 19 to 24, either their names got changed, or we are not sure whether the same name is continuing, or I mean, the present past 7 months లో అసలు ఏ స్కీమ్స్ పాతవి రన్ అవుతున్నాయో ఉంటున్నాయో కూడా తెలియట్లేదు సార్. అసలు సోషియో ఎకనామిక్ సర్వే ఆల్సో కూడా మనకి పాత ఇయర్దే సేమ్ అవే మత్స్యకార భరోసా, రైతు భరోసా అవే నేమ్స్ ఉంటున్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని మారిపోయినాయి, చంద్రన్న భరోసా అని, ఎన్టీఆర్ భరోసా అని నేమ్స్ కూడా దే గాట్ చేంజ్డ్ అన్నమాట. So is there any document which has updated the schemes which are there, welfare schemes, then even updated list of the schemes which are available right now?
Updated list of schemes, they have updated the policies which is there as I have showed you. But sometimes if it is something is not updated, they are continuing the same anardham. Like let's say they have given 2021 to 26 apparel policy. They did not actually change the policy. They are continuing it. So whenever something is not updated, because then they are continuing it anardham. So they are not bringing the new one into that one as of now. They might be changing it next, but they did not change it now. That you can actually be sure. And as the exams are happening every year, 2022 one exam happened, 21 exam happened, 22 exam happened, 23 exam happened. Now 24 this year it is happening. So don't worry about the last 5-6 years. They won't be giving you, because Telangana, it was the first group 1 notification. They have 10 years to cover. Here, every year they are giving you the notification. They'll cover what are the aspects that were done in the last year. Don't worry about the too much 2019 to 24. They'll cover only those aspects that are there in the last year. Okay, don't worry about that. And whenever some scheme is getting implemented with the name, if it is changed now, you can write it was changed again recently. It was changed again recently, like YSR Arogyasri, it was changed as NTR Arogya. It was changed as recently this one. You can quote that. That's it. Okay, right. I hope I have cleared this one. Yeah, Kalyan, you can, if at all you want to. Yeah. No. Anyone? Good. Socio-economic survey and budget is more than enough for AP. Okay, more than enough, because if you see, as why I have actually shown you this one is, yeah, this one is whatever aspects are there in the syllabus, all these aspects are there here. Socio-economic survey and recent, why socio-economic survey is what happened, why vision document of 2027 is how we can be, because we have some measures that we can be told in the conclusions. This socio-economic survey is to add the facts. Okay, what is happening in Andhra Pradesh? Okay, every aspect that they are covering through the budget and economic survey, how they are happening. Okay, right. And sometimes what happens is the infrastructure projects like Visakhapatnam Chennai Industrial Corridor or HBIC, these aspects also, the latest information is given in the recent budget and economic survey. Latest information is given. Okay, so there you can see. And but what happens is you need to study the basics from that particular website only. Don't rely on the outsiders. From that particular website, VCIC have a website. If you don't know, VCIC has a website. You need to study from that website. When did it come? What is the agency that is implementing? What part of the project is now getting implemented? These aspects you need to study for the basics. For the current information, this one is more than enough. Okay, right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Any other doubts? If you have doubts, raise your hand. I hope I made it clear why economic survey and budget is important. Refer cheyakaledu. First, budget speech refer cheyandi. Budget speech. Then, gender budget, outcome budget, and child budget refer cheyandi. As Kalyan has pointed out, they might be asking the measures to be implemented for the women, for the children. These measures you can write it by referring to the gender budget, by referring to the child budget. All schemes will be at one place, simple. And all allocations will be at one place. You can easily refer them. You can easily get the backside information, background information. You can write them, simple. Okay.